Hey, welcome back to the channel and to another solar video. My name is Ivan Pashov, and on this one, I'm gonna give you 3 ways to get better at selling solar virtually. But first, don't forget to subscribe to this video and turn your bell notification on for every time I post something. I'm gonna be posting a lot of content throughout this year to help your sales and marketing and improve your overall success in the solar space. Now, if you haven't yet downloaded the free sales solar black book that I have, please check it out. You will like it. I'm sure you like it. Download it. It's right in the description. It's the first link. It's free. It doesn't ask for anything. So let me know how you like it, and let me know how you like this video. Okay, but let's get right into it. So in this one, we're gonna be talking about, I'm gonna give you really 3 ways to get better at selling solar from a distance, right? If you've engaged in, if you're already in the space for some time and you consider yourself a killer at closing, more power to you. But if you're new to selling solar from a distance, or if you want to get better at selling solar from a distance, then this video is probably going to be, it's going to serve you well. And I hope it will. So the first really thing that I want to go over is, if you want to get better at selling solar over the phone or video, is make sure you build trust before you get into selling them into solar. Right? What do I mean? I mean, look, if you have a kitchen table appointment, if you're at the person's home, it's much easier to build trust with the individual and have them trust you, essentially, right? However, when you're selling over the phone or through video, that is definitely not the case. It's one thing I would tell you is it's a little bit harder to build trust when you're not with the individual in the same room or face to face, right? If you're selling, for example, over the phone, what you want to do is, once you pick up the phone, you introduce yourself, you tell them why you're calling, right? If you have, for example, we give our clients a script that they can follow. But if you give them, for example, if you tell them if you introduce yourself, you tell them why you're calling, and if they filled out a form online, right, you need to make sure you're very distinct, and they can differentiate you from other forms that they might have filled out that day, right? Because some people just get on Facebook or go on YouTube, and they're just like Terminators, man. They go through everything, right? They click. And they just bored out of their mind. They would fill out anything that gets their attention a little bit, right? That's how everything works. I mean, we can't be mad about it. That's just how it is, right? We just need to come to terms with that, right? So you want to make sure that you build trust. Once you introduce yourself and you let them know why you're calling. You want to build trust. How you build trust? Ask them about the weather. Ask them about, what if there's something going on in the world, you can talk about that. If for example, if it's on Monday or Tuesday, say how was your weekend, or whatever it might be, right? Just find ways to sort of chit chat before you get into the meat and potatoes, right? Because you want to make sure that they like you before you can even pitch them, because they know they're being sold, okay? People are not that stupid, generally. So you want to build trust first before you get into pitching them and selling them on how that works, right? Because they know that this is why the phone call is even happening, right? You're there and you're about to sell them something. So they originally have their guard up like this, and you need to bring it down. And the way to do that is you want to make sure that you build trust right before you get into your pitch. And the next thing I want to say is, you want to make sure you follow up with these people relentlessly. You want to make sure that you're so good or your team is so good at following up, they cannot forget who you are, right? Or if they haven't answered the phone, you have to always stay top of mind, right? If they have answered the phone, you want to make sure that you always write stuff down about them, right? If they say something that, for example, they're busy because they go to a doctor's appointment, or they go to, they're busy because they're taking the kid to school, whatever it might be, right? Or they have a meeting to go to. Write it down. So next time you call them up, next time you get them on the phone, you can say, how was your meeting? Or how was your kid's play? Or how was, how did it go at the doctor? So you want to make sure you have something to talk about. But more importantly, you want to make sure you're persistent at following up with those people, with that individual, right, in mind. So what do I mean by that is, a lot of people think following up for a week and abandoning that lead is pretty much how you treat a lead. I'm like, no. Listen, if you knew that every single lead that pops into your sheet or your CRM is a guaranteed deal, a guaranteed solid deal, how many times would you follow up? If you know it's gonna happen, how many times would you follow up? Well, I'll follow up as much as I need. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? That's all I'm saying. That's the mindset that you should deploy when you go about following up, or when you're training your team to follow up. Every single lead is an install. Every single lead equals an install, right? So you follow up at least 2 to 3 times on a day-to-day basis, and you don't just call once, you call 2 or 3 times. Because most people, usually when they see an unknown number, they don't answer the phone the very first time. If you call them twice, for example, they think it's something urgent, so they might pick up. So make sure that if you're calling up twice a day, you call them 2 to 3 times at once, right? To make sure that you get their attention. Another thing I want to say is, make sure you have multiple phone numbers. Don't just rely on one, because people will block you, man. They would straight up block you. So you want to make sure you have at least 2 to 3 phone numbers to rely on when you're calling different people, right? So follow-up will be number 2. And my next point is, I don't know what it is, number 3. My next point is, you want to call them up as fast as you can, right? Look, even if the lead is exclusive to you or your company, that's good. It definitely makes the situation better, but it's not the end all be all. You still want to make sure that you get through to them as quick as possible, because the way we are designed as human beings, as creatures, is right now we have the attention span of a baby most of the time. So there's people that will fill out your form online. They'll go through the most tedious process. 2 hours later, they forgot about it, right? They've filled out 2 other forms. So you want to make sure you call them up as fast as you can, so they can basically associate that phone number, contacting them, with what they've just done online, what the form they filled out, for example, right? So you want to make sure you're very quick on the ball and you call them up quickly, right? Although you don't have, like I said, anyone else to compete with, it's a good practice to have to call them up in the first 5 minutes, because after that, in the first 3 to 5 minutes, if you don't call them up, 70% drop-off rate, right? That's what you should be expecting, okay? So again, you want to make sure that when you or your team calls up the prospects, you're very quick on the ball and you get it done quickly. As soon as you get it in the CRM, as soon as you get a notification, you call them up, and that's that. During working hours, obviously. Don't go over the top and call them up at 11 p.m. at night. Okay, and last but not least, you want to make sure that you can differentiate yourself from everyone else or every other form they might have filled out that same day, right? When you call them up, you need to, after you introduce yourself, you need to basically stand out by having a hook. Because what a lot of people don't understand, being in the industry, is that this is almost like a cold call. That's how you should treat it, as a cold call. It's not warm by any means. They've seen an offer online, but they haven't spoken to anyone else. So when you get them on the phone, you want to make sure that you buy yourself time by introducing yourself, getting a hook right in, because that's almost like a cold call. Like I said, it's a lot of people treat it as a warm call, and I'm like, this is not a warm call. This is a cold call. We found a way to get you the individual's details. We pre-qualified them for you, meaning they said they have the single family homeowner with a 650 or above credit score. That's why they're talking to you. But at the same time, they know almost nothing about what you're calling him for. So you wanna have a hook, a strong hook, where you can buy yourself more time and they can understand, hey, this is why these guys are calling for, right? If you're calling about solar, don't just say, well, you filled out a solar form, so I just wanted to talk to you about, whether you're interested in switching to solar. Like, interested in what? Most people don't even know. They've heard solar, but they know almost nothing about it, right? All they know is how their neighbor got screwed over by, a solar, by a solar company that's obsolete, and then it's gone. It just took their money and scammed them, right? So you want to make sure that you have, like I said, a very quick, a very sharp hook where you could get someone's attention, buy yourself more time, and proceed from there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and download the Solar Sales Black Book. You'll find that in the in the description. It's the very first link you'll see. Let me know how you like it, right? So let me know how you like this video in the comment section below, and I'll see you again on the next one.